What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Savage Land. Welcome to another episode of Soapbox. And we're going to jump right into it this week on Soapbox, man. We're going to get into pretty much community. What did I see on Facebook, social media, or what did I just do in the collecting community, period? And this time it's going to be a first. I actually collect comic books, but toy collecting has basically taken me away from comic book collecting. So last week I went into my local my comic book shop, and I picked up some comic books. I was actually looking for Void Rivals, and what Void Rivals is a new comic book coming from Image. It's going to be a Transformer G.I. Joe mashup. I guess Hasbro gave them the license to do it, and I picked up that issue 1. Issue 1 has nothing to do with G.I. Joe Transformers. The only time any of those properties pops up when Jetfire gets awakened by two alien beings, which that's what the whole story is about, a Xantonian and a Gorian. If anybody knows who these people are, I don't. I guess they came from the Transformers, or maybe they came from out of G.I. Joe universe, but I know nothing about them. A Xantonian and an Agorian. Zartonian, something crazy like that. But it starts off with these two beings fighting to the death. They crash land, boom pow, they're going at it, but then eventually they have to work together because both of their spaceships are pretty much banged up on this rock kind of moon-like planet with no atmosphere, nothing like that. They have their space helmets on. I think it has a little bit of atmosphere, but they go at it. But they end up being friends when one is about to kill the other. So they start trying to fix their ships, get parts, and in between that, they blow this ship up. Okay, so they wreck their ship. They can't get off the rock planet. One of the ones, I don't know if it's the Zartanian or the Agorian, goes off, walks off, and finds an abandoned ship. Go gets the other one, bring it back, it's Jetfire. As soon as they start messing with it and put a little electricity to it or whatever, a little power to it, he wakes up just in like an uproar, like, oh man, where am I at? I must have been here a million years. He starts looking at like molecules and all types of dust on him, and he has a little bit of monologue, and then he just fires off and just leaves them two. And that's pretty much how the first issue ends. Now, I don't know if these two alien beings are going to be a huge part of this story, but I decided I wanted to get into this comic because I actually haven't brought a comic in probably about a year and a half. But before I started collecting toys heavy back in 2015, that's what I was doing. I was collecting comic books, searching for Wolverine Volume 2, all the issues in that, because that's where I grew up collecting, and I just acquired a whole bunch of other comic books at that. Maybe one day we'll go through that. But the Transformers G.I. Joe mashup, which is, I guess, is trying to kick off what's going to go on in the movies and kind of maybe coincide with that. I don't know. It's called Void Rivals. Actually, Image Comics is the publisher on this comic book series. And then also I picked up G.I. Joe Real American Hero issue number 70, and I picked up issue number 60. And I was just browsing in the G.I. Joe section. I usually try to pick up some old G.I. Joe comics. I actually own quite a bit now. I think I'm going to try to go hard for collecting that whole set of the Marvel original run. But issue 60 is actually the first appearance of Chuckles, which is cool. Like I told you a month ago, I got a kind of hot fever for Chuckles. I'm like, man, I wonder what that's going to be about. They could make him really dope. He did not have much monologue in the cartoon. He was just a big brute. He threw a missile, which was almost kind of far-fetched from what he does. But in this first appearance in issue 60, he is a big, thick, wide guy. He's like a secret, covert, special operations type agent or something like that. But I didn't get a chance to read all of it. I'm gonna dig back into it. I kind of fell asleep on it. That's why I don't really buy comics, because I just never really have time to read them. But especially with me just really heavy back into G.I. Joe, man, it's cool to pick up that original Marvel run. Also, what I seen was my man Ferry the Workaholic put up 3 new custom figures that he did on G.I. Joe Classified Elite. He has a Night Force Outback, a Stinger Driver, and Snake Eyes version 4. And might I say, they all look good. I like the dark colors on the Outback. I think I seen him do that before, but I know he used that color palette before with a couple of other guys like Spirit. But the Stinger Driver that he turned into from the Cobra Officer is dope. I like the light gray paint with the red paint accents on the harness and the belt area, and of course the the actual officer insignia on the helmet looks good, and it's just a really good color combination. And what he did here at the end with the version 4 Snake Eyes is Snake Eyes that I actually remember getting out the store and actually having in my collection, because that's around the time I was interested and I would ask for G.I. Joe at the stores, that early 90s. Is a V4, and what it is that Commando Snake Eyes with Timber, and I can always see them turning that one into that version 4, to be honest with you. And it looks good, man. Ferry always does a good job. I like his customs, man, and I still think I'm gonna ask him to give me one of those chocolate Storm Shadows. Also, man, I know this ain't got nothing to do about nothing with toys, anything, but look, I ran track and field coming up as a kid. I ran Junior Olympics. I ran in high school, got a state title in high school. So I got to throw this out there. Jakari Richardson the other day took her wig off and flexed her muscle and ran a 10.8 in the Nationals and won the Nationals. And I guess she has an invitation to advance and make her bid to go to the Olympics. Because, you know, last time, when was it last Olympics? Was it 2020? Man, time flies. I think Olympics is 2024. She got caught smoking weed, man. Like, I'm an advocate for weed, so I don't see nothing wrong with it. But the rules are the rules, so she got suspended and she lost her bid to go to the Olympics. Hope this time around, baby girl, you put the blunt down and you make your bid to go to Olympics. But she ran a 10.8. She snatched her wig off and did her thing. Shout out to Jakari Richardson. Also, Super 7 showed off their Thundercats Cat Lair, or whatever it's called, man. But it looks dope, man. I remember their little lair that they had on their show. And Super 7 has a 7-inch scale of Thundercats. Now, with this Thundercats line, I own a Lion-O and, of course, a Panthro and a Mumra, the ever-living Tut Mumra. I actually want the small one. I need to get him and stop playing. But that's as far as I'm going with that line. I thought I was going to get the rest of the team, but I actually kind of just don't want them. I want that core 3 there. That's cool for me. I don't want to get too deep in that. But they made a Cats Lair from them in the 7-inch scale, and might I say it looks dope. The price range they saying on this thing is $650, but it's probably gonna be massive. I believe Super 7 made like a Snake Mountain years ago. I really wasn't in collecting like that. And plus on that end, I didn't never really venture past Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends was like my little gateway, and then it opened me up and turned me out to the rest of the stuff. But I definitely wasn't getting down like that. But that thing looks huge, and I'm thinking this thing will look huge like that. Is it huge enough for their Thunder Tank to fit under the paw like it did in the show? No. I looked at this on Mega J Retro. I just kind of pulled some pics from him from what he was talking about, but I've seen a few people talking about it. It's actually pretty cool. I wouldn't mind actually having this. I had all these major playsets with the Origins playsets of Eternia and Snake Mountain, all that. I actually have a Castle Grayskull, but that was like $70. You know what I'm saying? I actually could have brought one at a flea market, an original one, for like $30. Like, a couple years back, man, but I didn't. But that was inexpensive. That's inexpensive to me, and I don't care. I think I'd probably rather have the new one. It's mine, it's new. I can beat it up for the next 30 years. But this playset right here is something cool because it looks so good. I don't know if the eyes are gonna glow on it, the cat eyes or the chest emblem, but it's dope. It's something I can use for them, and it's also something for like a good background backdrop for other figures, man. Like I mix and match all my figures. I make them all play and work together. You can see that with some of my reviews, how I'll just throw just random things together, and I think the color palettes look good and their aesthetic looks good and they can kind of blend together. I'll make it happen. That's what makes playing with your toys fun. That's like playing with your toys as a kid, the mixing, the matching of different things. But I like this play set. It also has like this little like round table, conference table with some cool chairs. It has Lion-O sitting like in a computer room, and that's all I've really seen. But if it's going to be big, I'm pretty sure it has different compartments to it, which have rotating bases, little pop-out pieces, little light-up screens. For $650, it's pretty much like a over emasculated dollhouse, and that's really what it is. The way it opens up, it's like a Barbie dollhouse with the little stairs that looks like there's no use for them, just almost like a Castle Grayskull, but the setup pieces. And to me, the biggest thing is it looks like when it's closed up and it's the huge cat, that presence, man. It looks like a big panther sitting up there. Is really dope. I don't know when it's supposed to come out. I guess this is something like SDCC exclusive. Maybe it's like a backing project or something like that, but we're gonna see. And I'm actually quite interested in this, man. if it's gonna be something big, if it's gonna be something huge, like a play set for $650, let it be something I can walk in. Let it be something I can take pictures, I can build around. Like, there's been some vehicles almost getting up to that $650, and mostly from Super 7 because they have a 7-inch line. Like that Turtle Wagon was $500. Of course, that Thunder Tank is massive, man. It's about the size of a man's torso. That was for like, I think that was about around $500 too. But $650 for this play set, it's like, hey, if you want it, get it. And if you want to go big, go big. It looks like it's huge, man. It really does. It looks like it has some functions, like the paw lifts up. Like I said, not to fit that Thunder Tank, because that Thunder Tank is really actually about the size of it. Or it definitely wouldn't go under the paw, because this thing was like the size of a mountain. It was huge. It was a castle. It was a palace. It was the headquarters, you know. But in realistic world and toy form, it definitely can't go down. But it's actually a pretty cool and interesting looking set. Like I said, I got a lot of information from Mega J Retro, and then there's some other people I took pictures from. None of this stuff is nothing I dug up. I'm just looking just like everybody else, but I wanted to speak on it because I think it's actually a pretty cool project. And I actually can't wait to see what the prototype looks like, man. SDCC is a really good time for good entertainment, toy entertainment, man. Even if you can't go out there, even if you don't purchase anything, I actually like watching the people walk around at the show. I actually like watching the interviews with other toy creators, man. I think it's one big beautiful thing. And it's, if you're sitting up mad at somebody because they're interviewing the toy companies, man, hey, put more work in, put more time in, because eventually one day it might be you. But you can't be salty. That's what I call a hater, man. I congratulate. I love everybody in the toy community, even if you one of some of the ones that talk shit. I really don't care. I just like that you actually cultivating in your hobby and you love it. It's something cool to do. You could actually be doing a lot more other negative shit, but you're actually playing around with toys and loving the beauty and the art form of an action figure. Also, like I said, I didn't do a soapbox last week. I also pre-ordered the Mayfax Bane and the Mayfax Batman Knightfall. I'm gonna give them a go. I'm not gonna front though. That Bane looks kind of wonky. Almost kind of looks like somebody, one of those goons on Double Dragon, that big bulky big head one. It looks kind of weird like that, but I'm gonna give it a try. I think these are just like pre-images that are real kind of shoddy, but the gaps and stuff in it, I know Mayfax is not going to deliver like that. They've been firing on everything, even the products I don't buy from them. It looks like they've been doing pretty good with them. But I'm gonna give it a go. I have to, because I don't have a Bane in my collection. That one is suitable enough. He looks like he's bigger too. He's not as big as McFarlane, which I really want that one. I don't know, like out of all the crappy figures McFarlane hands out, that one was so limited. I never seen it in the store or anything like that, or I would have picked it up by now. But this other Bane from Mayfax is really cool. I hope it gets a little bit more refined. I ordered it from Toy Hobby Japan this time. I didn't do the big bad toy store route, and it was a lot cheaper. It was like $30-$40 cheaper. And the Batman, it's a little kind of okay-ish one because of what they chose for him. But I guess that's the look with the pointy shoulders. I really don't remember that hard. I just remember that with John Paul Pierre, his suit. But I don't remember that with the regular suit. And then he has like a head where he has no cape. And that body, that slimmer body, it is okay, but I really love the Dark Knight version, the thicker, bigger Batman. I really want them to make another buck on a Batman other than that Hush one. It's just almost a little bit too slim for me, but the aesthetic of the figure is good overall, and I'm going to give them a swing at it. If they don't satisfy me, it'll be the first time Mayfax didn't. But I don't know if I'm the first to say they do look a little wonky. All right, now let's talk about the G.I. Joe Dragonfly and where it's at now. I currently looked at it today, and it's currently sitting right dead at 15,000 backers. Now, the project has stalled because, of course, of Glenda. Like I said, I don't really care about Glenda. I mean, I don't mind her, and actually it's at 15,001 backer. But it definitely put a stalemate on this property. Of course, with the Dragonfly, I think it's a good offering without any figures. As long as we get that ripcord, that's really the only thing I care about. Glenda was just an extra, and whoever this third person is, hey, might be an extra too. Now, what this hot topic here, will it make it? I think it will, but they better pull out some ammo and stop with this BS. Show us the third figure. There's only nothing but 8 days left. That's roughly a week. until this campaign ends. And you see your campaign has stalled for 2 weeks, mainly because of Glenda. And she really put a stalemate on everybody. Now, of course, she's just an extra figure, but you gotta admit, people like are wondering, like, will it be another like fluke or flake after this? You gotta come with a banger. At the end of the day, I don't know why they just don't show all the figures, but I know why, because they could possibly show all the figures and stalemate themselves from the beginning. So they give you this slow roll of what's going on, which is, hey, they can live and learn off that lesson, because if everything starts stalemating from them not really showing their heavy guns, then they probably will start showing everything. But will it make it? I think it will. Will Hasbro pull out their big guns? I think they will. Or they might not. I don't know. They do stupid stuff sometimes. They might not. The Sky Striker didn't make it to all its goals, and there's a strong possibility that this one may not, especially if they don't come off that third figure, because I don't think Glenda's going to do it. And maybe the community, as far as G.I. Joe, will come together and guys will just start backing it just to see. But I don't see that happen either, because it's really a toss-up on these HasLabs. It puts some sour taste in some people's mouths, so people aren't just as hungry for them, the extra as it was before. They will let a HasLab crash, or they will let a tier fall. We've seen it before. Like I said, the Sky Striker didn't get to the ketchup and mustard. The Hell Charger last year did not get funded. Rancors did not get funded. This is just with different other people, and it's not making G.I. Joe obsolete from this. G.I. Joe could meet their first time they don't reach their tiers on their second HasLab, and that's not a good thing. I can see if you're on your 4th or 5th, but will this thing make it? I want to see it make it to the 19, well, at least to 16, so we can see what the third figure is, but I also want to see it make it to 19. Now, I will tell you this, if they come with a flake, we won't see that 19. Like, say if people get to 16 and some bullshit like a donkey dressed in a set of overalls or something crazy, man, it's not gonna go anywhere. If anything, it might lose. We might just end up with just a ripcord in the airplane. Or I don't know, man, sometimes people can really get together. You can just might end with the airplane or nothing at all. There's 1 week left. Me personally, honestly, I think this thing is gonna make it at least to get the plane and the first figure. But I don't know, if they don't make the right move and do the right thing, it definitely could crash and burn their plans. And also, if they don't do it in enough time, like I said, it's a week from now. They should be showing this third figure. They should have did that tomorrow. Okay, it's Sunday, July 9th. I'm recording this. They should do this by July 10th. Do not play around, man. Show your third figure so people can get over the nasty taste of Glenda in their mouth. These people can get over the next morning with Glenda in their bed. Like, oh my God, I banged Glenda. Get her out of here. You know what I'm saying? So you need to make a move, Hasbro, or you're gonna lose out on that. Or maybe they don't care. Maybe they're like, well, shit, we got our money. We don't care if you guys want to see the third figure or not. Hey, screw it. But I do think it can make it, but it needs some extra, it needs an extra boost. It needs an extra juice, and it has been stale for 3 weeks. Me personally, on my end, I will be just fine with the helicopter. But I will tell you this, what's really going on personally in my life, like I ran into some situations in my trucking business where I might have to come off a chunk of money. I might not be able to get this damn helicopter, and I'm pretty sure with some other people out there, far as other pre-orders coming up, all these cons and stuff, you better do something or you're going to be in trouble, because they're not going to give a damn no more. They're going to be like, you know what, man, screw that Dragonfly. I think I want to throw down on this Thundercats Cat Lair or Cat Palace, whatever it is, man. So they need to make their moves wisely, man, because people are running into financial situations, other things are coming up, and other toys are coming up to where they might say, hey, screw G.I. Joe. Just because G.I. Joe hit a walk-off home run last year, shit, they might get a base hit, okay, with just one figure this time, or they might strike out. So I would choose wisely. There's a lot of stuff coming up. In San Diego Comic-Con is a beast, and Walmart cons, and all these summer cons, and all these pre-orders from G.I. Joe that was stacked on from months ago and a month ago. So they need to make the right choice. I believe it can happen, but it's really the ball's really in Hasbro's court. It's like it's 10 seconds left. How you gonna come down the court? And that's really all I got to say. We'll see. By next week, we will see. Will this thing be funded? And I'll report on that. But that's Soapbox. That's what I've seen throughout the week. As far as clearance, I haven't really seen no cool clearance. What I did see is Big Bad Toy Store. Dark Troopers got knocked down to $19. Please knock them down to $15, please. I actually picked up 2 more. I actually really like that Black Series 6-inch Dark Trooper. I think it's a dope action figure, and I really wanted to army build it, but at $32, I would never do that. Every last one of them I brought has been for like $19 or $20. I think with these 2, now I have like 6 now, but I really want like 10 of them. I think they're really a dope action figure, but at Big Bad Toy Store, they're knocked down for $19 if you're still interested in that. But other than that, this is Savage Land, another episode of Soapbox. Give me a like, comment, subscribe. We do this for the love and beauty of action figures. And with that being said, until the next time, God bless.